Okay, today is Saturday, July what, 7th? Saturday, about 11:30 at 210 or 212 South 8th, depending on how far back you want to go on the history. This is not the original house, even though it looks like it could be. The original house was somewhat closer to me than this one. But I did probe out a privy behind that darker shaded bushy area, which is actually a tree. And then one a little bit out of the tree, closer to that, kind of a trough or a water thing sitting over there by the left of that back bald spot. Anyway, I just gave my buddy Brandon a text and he may be joining me. Anyway, I'm about to go over and see what 90% of what feels like a privy actually is. And hopefully have something opened up in case Brandon shows up. Yeah. As God knows, we've dug enough duds together. About time we dug up a pontil hole together. We still haven't done that yet. At least not a hole where more than one bottle came out of pontil. Yeah, it's time. So here's Brandon down in the hole as usual. Well, he's always in the hole when I'm filming. I don't know how that works, but it just works that way.
It's salt glazed.
Oh, that looks old.
Rock. Yeah, it's older.
50s, 60s?
Got a painted
60s,
brown,
maybe?
painted little greenish brown thing on it.
Yeah. We believe we're in a brick-lined who knows what. The bricks are not mortared, but they're rounded. Not the bricks, but the ends. And we're trying to figure out if we got a straight wall or what the hell's going on. And if there's any glass in the damn thing. But it's highly unlikely it's a cistern.
You're a mortar.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like that. I like lime better.
I would prefer lime.
Well, can you work on it? Holy crap, one-handed he throws out a half-ton rock.
There's a... Shit, that's machine made. Oh, it came in.
What? Machine made?
I don't know if it might have came in with the slough here. I don't know.
Yeah, well, nearing the end of day one at this lovely little dig here. Alright. It's usually day two that tells the story anyway, huh, Brandon?
Yep.
Well, here we are, Sunday, July 8th, back at the pit of rocks. It's a pit of rocks, which apparently smashed this lovely quart-sized clasped hands flask that we're now spitting up pieces from. Actually, this is from yesterday. And we got the blob top remnants of a early Quincy soda over here, which isn't too surprising since they had a factory here, or a small factory. And here's a early key mold, probably a puff type medicine, kind of a puff type, puffy looking. There's Brandon in the hole again, since I'm standing here with the camera. And we're hoping to get to the bottom of this thing here and figure out where the good bottles are. I personally think this spot behind me is a clean out pit full of pontil bottles, neatly stacked, because they knew in the future those bottles were going to be worth something, damn it. Yeah. They left the ones that were already broken in the pit here, and they saved all the whole ones just for us 150 years later. Yeah, sure. Well, there are dreams, and then there are hallucinations.
And reality.
And reality. Yeah, you had to throw in that reality part. I kind of like hallucinations better. Well, we have no idea what time it is. We're not sure what planet we're on. All we know is we're in the 1850s, 1860s. Since we just dug up a pontiled, flared glue bottle, it looks like. And that'd be our guess. Looks like it should be embossed Spalding's glue on it or something like that. Anyway, nice open pontil. Brandon's down there. He knows there's a amber scroll flask embossed with his name on it, so that's why he's so intent down there. And I believe him. So we got a Humboldt's fluid extract with a hinge base and a balm of 1,000 flowers. Cool name.
That would have been cool.
Uh-oh, what did you find?
Oh, it's a child's mug. That's what it is. A present for a good girl, it says.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool is that? Huh.
Handles broke off and the part with the stencils broke off.
Probably English, huh?
Probably. Still would have been neat.
Well, so what are we, about 8 feet down?
No, we're 9.
9 feet. Yeah, I keep forgetting you're about 6 foot, so yeah, about 10 foot then. This thing's about 4 feet above you. Well, I'll be able to tell when you hand up that. Oh, you already handed up the probe. Never mind. Yeah, we're getting goofy. I'm getting goofy. Hell, I've been goofy for years. Well, Brandon and I finally hit a pre-Civil War pontil pit where we got a super rare Jane's expectorant with a pontil and a super rare Wisstars with a pontil. And what else was pontiled? Oh, this super rare blue with an O on it, or whatever the hell that is. About the crudest bottle out of the hole. And then a few pontiled weird guys. And a smooth base balm of 1,000 flowers. And a TH Helmblad, or whatever the Helmbold HT, not TH, HT. Crude as all get out with a diagonal hinge mold. But a lot of digging to get down to the bottom foot. And that's about what we had to do, 10 feet down to 1 foot. Oh well, they're pontiled, they're embossed. They ain't broke. But the hole is broke. Yep, we broke the hole, huh, Brandon?
Yeah. These rocks broke the hole.
Yeah, and those rocks down there are just a sampling of what we pulled out of this mother humper. There's a sampling of a few more. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If all the holes were this full of rocks, we'd be fishing instead. Isn't that right, Taz? What do you think, Tazzy? Oh. Brandon, I think my dog's in love with you.
Oh dear.
Yep, you're gonna have to take her home, at least for the weekend. Okay, these 3 bottles are the remnants of this stone liner that my friend Brandon Smith from Quincy joined me on. We had dug a number of holes that were, age range from you name it, even Pontil era pits, but we didn't dig up any Pontil stuff. Always hate it when that happens, where you just get pieces, teasers. But this one paid off a little bit. One of the first bottles out of that lower layer was, oddly enough, one of the, I think it's the only smooth base. No, the Helmbold was smooth base and embossed. This one, I didn't even notice it was embossed. I kind of flippantly tossed it up. I thought it was a slick. And Brandon goes, "Oh, there's writing on it." He's like, "It's 1,000 balms. Balsam of 1,000, 1,000 balms. Balsam of 1,000 Flowers by Fettridge and Company. Balm of 1,000 Flowers." And this one just says Balm of 1,000 Flowers. And Fettridge is missing the F. It looks like Ettridge. With a flared lip. I mean, everything screams Pontil age. And indeed, I think probably more of these are Pontil than not. I read somewhere where by the mid-1860s, it was just called Fettridge's Balm or something like that. They dropped the 1,000 Flowers bit. So it's an early guy. I mean, it's got to be early 60s at the newest. Aside from just a little bit of stain on the inside. And really, really weak embossing. And no Pontil. Clearly it's a smooth base guy. But it's one of those kind of smooth bases that looks like it was set on the factory floor. You know, it's got little pieces of crud in it and, you know, dimples, and took on the shape of whatever the floor was. And then this guy I dug up. Actually, I managed to dig up all 3 of these. Brandon dug up the rest. This guy's got such a gnarly Pontil on the base. I don't know if you can see that. Dr. Jane's expectorant. These are so darn common that sadly they're just not worth a whole lot. But this bad boy won't even stand up without, you know, a serious wobble to him. I mean, that, yeah. I have to lean it up against another bottle in the cabinet just to make sure my heavy footsteps don't knock it over. And this one I dug up, but Brandon managed to get it in the pick, because my first choice was the Balm of 1,000 Flowers. God, I keep butchering the name on that. I've wanted one ever since I first saw one in one of my earliest bottle books. And I've wanted that one and Elixir of Love. Digging a bottle of that would be really cool. I'd really love it. You know. But anyway, this one I managed to make a trade with some more local bottles from Quincy with Brandon. And Dr. Wistar's Balsam of Wild Cherry is pretty common, except this one has S&P for, what do you call it? Smith and Parks? Smith? Hell, I can't remember. I know Parks. Smith isn't right. Sanborn. Shit. There I go. Using the S-bomb. But the reason I really like the Wisstars is when I was about 16, I dug one up that was beautifully colored, like Benicia glass, with iridescence. And I remembered it clearly. I was digging in a dump near a creek, and the darn thing, I saw something roll between my legs, and it rolled right into the creek and started floating away, and I ran down and rescued it from the creek the creek current, and it was a Wistar's Balsam of Wild Cherry. And I don't even recall what happened to it. It was that long ago. Something happened to it, but it was like the jewel of my collection for a good while. I just loved it. And believe it or not, I hadn't dug another one until this dig. And so that's why this one's kind of special to me. Plus the S&P is a bit more of a rarer variant. Not that any variant is rare, unless it's cobalt blue or emerald green, which I've never heard of. But then again, nobody ever heard of a cobalt blue Atwood's jaundice bitters until one showed up. Actually, I had heard of it because I remember reading about it like 60 years ago. Our father-son team were digging, and the son yells over his dad, "Hey, Dad, I got a good Atwood's." He goes, "Those are common." And the kid pops up with it in hand and says, "Yeah, in cobalt blue." And his dad's mouth just fell open. I remember that story. And I believe the one that was in that story just recently sold for over $3,000. Yeah. But anyway, I'm real happy with my little aqua balsam of wild cherry.